This week we are focusing on the films of Kathryn Bigelow. Let's start with you, Andy. What Kathryn Bigelow film did you pick?
I picked Zero Dark 30, the tagline for which was the greatest manhunt in history. Here's a clip.
You really believe this story? Osama bin Laden? Yeah. What part convinced you? Her confidence.
I must admit, this is a film which I think I've only ever seen once at the cinema.
Yeah, I saw it once at the cinema, and then obviously I'm holding in my hand the DVD, and I've watched it more than once because I find it a very gripping, exciting, thrilling, engaging film. So even though you know what the end is going to be, it's a bit like watching Titanic or a bit like watching Apollo 13. You know, gripping story, although you know the ending. So how they caught Osama bin Laden, it's full of action, it's full of great dialogue, it feels very, very realistic, as a lot of her films do. You know, you can actually think there's nothing exaggerated here. This must have been the way it was. This must have been what happened. And there's a great deal of tension, you know, even though, again, we know the ending. She still manages to build the tension. Are they going to get him or aren't they? You know, is he in the compound or isn't he? So I really rate this film very highly. The way she directs it from both sides' point of view, you know, you could argue it's a balanced film if there's such a thing, but she tries to get across both sides' point of view. But on the whole, it's really just about the soldiers, these guys who go in, get Osama bin Laden. And I just found it really gripping. So that would be my choice.
Okay, interesting. That's one I need to rewatch, I think. Emma, let's move to you next. What was your chosen Kathryn Bigelow film?
So I picked K-19 Widowmaker with Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson. Yeah, so it's basically about the first nuclear Russian sub and the drama that comes when, during all their exercises, they actually have a real emergency. Here's a clip.
To undertake an exercise of this scope may be, with respect, premature.
There is no doubt in my mind that K-19 is ready to fulfill her mission.
This was one of her early films, wasn't it?
I thought it was. I was going to say it was like 80s, 90s. It's 2002, unless I've gone crazy, which was much more recent than I thought it was. But it very much struck me like films that I love from the 90s, sort of that drama. It was very much in that.
Yeah, 2002. Yes, you're right.
Very much in a style of a lot of films that I very much enjoy watching. It's tense, you know, they're all stuck inside the submarine, all the drama that's happening, and just, you know, how they're reacting as a team and the hierarchy and everything is really great. And I rewatched it. I watched it twice this week. I was still like caught up in it, like, you know, when they're trying to save themselves, and just the way it's done, I just thought was really good. The other thing, which I will have to rewatch it again when I'm not doing anything else, because definitely play a drinking game where every time someone breaks accent, you down a drink. You'll be hammered by the end of the first scene.
Oh man! It was
so funny.
We ought to have done that for Ridley Scott's Robin Hood. That would have been a cracker.
But genuinely watching Liam Neeson, I was like, just pick an accent, just stick with it.
Right? Okay. Yes, that's good. I mean, Harrison Ford doing a Russian accent has to be high up on the list. Yeah. Scott, what did you pick?
The film that I picked was Point Break.
I believe that, like me, the people behind these robberies are extreme athletes, using their skills to disrupt the international financial markets. And they don't care who gets killed in the process.
This is an action film starring Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, where basically Patrick Swayze is the leader of this surfing gang who happen to also be bank robbers. And Keanu Reeves is the cop who goes undercover and tries to basically stop them from the inside. Now, I was thinking about this earlier today, and I have a feeling that this might have been the first film that I seen of Keanu Reeves or Patrick Swayze. I saw this film at quite a young age, and yeah, I don't think I'd seen any of the Speed or Matrix or any of those films. I don't think I'd seen Dirty Dancing, anything like that. So I think this was my introduction to both those actors. And it's just so much fun. The action scenes are great. There's some great comedy. The bromance between those characters is amazing. Love that.
This, of course, was the film that was taken off so brilliantly in Hot Fuzz, wasn't it?
It was indeed. All the shooting up in the air scene.
Shooting up in the air.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And it's got that great scene towards the end with the parachute jumping, which, again, I think they did that themselves as well. A bit Tom Cruise style. Yeah, this is one that has so much rewatchability for me, and that's why I picked it as my favourite Kathryn Bigelow film.
Okay, yeah, it's a good one. Now, that really was one of her early ones, wasn't it? Looking back in her history, K9 the Widowmaker was 2002, Point Break was 1991, so that was 11 years before. And before that, she'd made Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis, wasn't it? And Near Dark, which I don't know, and The Loveless, which I don't know. So I think Point Break was really the one that kind of put her on the map. Yeah.
Blue Steel's really good.
Oh,
yeah,
Steel.
that's a good film as well. Again,
because I was looking through her other films, I was like, oh, I haven't seen this one, I haven't seen that one. And when I saw Blue Steel, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to buy that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. It is good, Emma.
Yeah. So the one I've picked is... I always seem to pick the obvious ones, but I've gone and picked The Hurt Locker. Again, poor old Kathryn Bigelow, I don't think I actually rewatch her films very often, but I rewatched this today after many years of not having seen it, and it's such a wonderfully gripping piece of cinema. I mean, it's obviously about the work of the bomb disposal units in Baghdad during the Iraq War with Jeremy Renner. The action scenes of them trying to defuse these bombs amidst a very, very aggressive population looking out of windows with video cameras and mobile phones and all that stuff. It is so well done. I mean, it's done in a style of the roving camera, and some of the editing in the film, which actually won an Oscar in 2010, is absolutely superb, as it kind of focuses in on the streets and what's going on in the streets. There's a limping cat at one point, which you thought, God, how did she capture that? And it's just fed into the whole mix of the film. It's great. Actually won 6 Oscars in 2010, and as well as editing, it won the Best Picture, the Best Actor Award for Jeremy Renner, Best Director for Kathryn Bigelow. She was the first woman to ever win an Academy Award for Best Director, Original Screenplay, and one other. What was that? Oh, sound mixing and sound editing. And again, we talked about Oppenheimer earlier, but the sound for The Hurt Locker is absolutely superb. So you can see why it was garnered with so many Oscars, and it was actually really great to watch it again. And it really kind of shows what a sophisticated director Kathryn Bigelow is, because she's really great at the action scenes. But there was a wonderful scene towards the end of the film where Jeremy Renner goes home on leave, and he's in the middle of a supermarket aisle, and he's been told by his wife, played by Evangeline Lilly, to go and get some cereal. And he stands in the middle of this aisle of this supermarket with like 500 different boxes of different cereal all laid out, and he doesn't know what to do. He's kind of a fish out of water outside of being in the war. And actually the opening lines of the film, there's a quote, and it kind of reduces to 4 words that says, "War is a drug." And this is clearly the drug that Jeremy Renner is on, and he can't wait to get back there and get another fix of it, that kind of adrenaline and stuff. Great film. Again, I have to say, it's well worth a rewatch if you haven't seen it in a while.